I've talked a lot about how prominent theft is in the NFT landscape, but it really doesn't get more blatant than this. This, ladies and gentlemen, is an NFT game called Glory Hero NFT Wars, and it's described as follows on the official website. Glory Hero is an action-paced yet easy-to-play multiplayer competitive shootout multiplayer online battle arena, MOBA, that's the longest name for a genre I've ever seen, where you can compete alone or in a team to crush your opponents through cooperation and technology. And then scrolling down, we got game video, which there's none. I don't know if it got taken down because they just blatantly copied Paladins, which I'll get to in a bit, or if they just haven't uploaded something. And then there's some information about the gameplay, and we got, of course, NFT items. So just from a conceptual standpoint, all kinds of red flags as far as this game is concerned, and more details about how all of this NFT stuff will work. And then finally, you got a roadmap here. And around the web, you'll also be able to find wallpapers and posters and banners, such as this one right here, Glory Hero NFT Wars. Now, you may notice, if you've played Paladins, that the logo seems quite familiar, and that's because it's pretty much an exact copy of the Paladins logo, especially when you look at this little gem here, and the shape and everything, and just the general color scheme and shape of the logo. It's exactly the same as Paladins. And then if you look at the logo for the mobile Paladins game that released, Paladins Strike, the similarities are that much more apparent. It's just an identical Photoshop copy of Paladins Strike. Going from here to here, I mean, it's identical. You've got the same design element. You've got the little gold plate down here with the words NFT Wars that replaces the word strike here. But beyond the logo, a lot of the game's assets were directly ripped from Paladins and Paladins Strike. If you look at these heroes, those who do play Paladins will likely notice some similarities, and by similarities, I mean they're basically a direct ripoff. Now, the developers behind Glory Hero are pretending like they didn't plagiarize anything, as if this is all their own unique design. They tweeted this on May 18th, 2022. This is our game art design, and the game continues to stay online as planned. If you've ever spent Paladins Strike due to the offline and suffered a loss, no matter how much, we'll give you skin as long as you provide us with a record of your previous spending. This tweet comes in after they got called out for plagiarism, and featured on this tweet is this artwork of an alleged unique design that is actually in reality just ROM from the hit game Paladins, as pointed out by a number of Twitter users. And in fact, if you look at official artwork of this hero in the game Paladins, you can see that the design is practically identical. And it's not just the one hero, it's a number of heroes across the board, as reported here by .esports. NFT game Glory Hero accused of unlicensed use of 2018 Paladins mobile title assets. Additional details can be found scrolling down here. Almost every character and asset revealed thus far is directly taken from a mobile spin-off of Paladins Champions of the Realm called Paladins Strike. It is further detailed down here that little effort has been put into altering the original Paladins Strike champion roster beyond changing the characters' names. Maldamba, for example, a Paladins champion that serves a serpent goddess, has been renamed to Slither, but the design has barely been changed at all. And then you've got a champion originally called Terminus, who was renamed to Finalist for Glory Hero's release. This is just such incompetent criminal activity that you'd think they almost want to get caught. Now, it's worth noting that Paladins Strike, this mobile game, was shut down in February 2019 after an unsuccessful first year on the market. But of course, the main game, Paladins, is still going strong, and Paladins Strike obviously is still high-res's IP, and the characters in Paladins Strike are also in Paladins. But even if these games shut down, it doesn't mean that you have the right to just take these assets and pretend like they're your own. They still belong to an entity. As .esports highlights here, its champion roster was made up of characters from the original Paladins game that is still going strong today. So if you rip stuff from Paladins Strike, you might as well also be ripping stuff from Paladins, which is still going strong. And even if it weren't, again, it doesn't give you the right to profit off of somebody else's work. Now you can see right here the initial tweet that drew attention towards this. Glory Hero NFT Wars official Twitter page tweeted on May 12, 2022. You read that right. It's a 5v5 esports game and will be releasing it on Google Play and App Store in a week. and this was originally, I believe, a trailer for the game that has since been taken down as Hi-Rez has taken legal action against Glory Hero. In fact, Stewart here, who is the CEO of Hi-Rez Studios, responded with this. This is unlicensed use of Hi-Rez IP, and we will be pursuing takedown paths with Flow Blockchain, Apple, and Google Play. This was brought to his attention by a number of Twitter users who very quickly recognized this is just a ripoff of Paladins. Problematist tweeted, finally, Paladins 2, and it's just Glory Hero NFT Wars. Paladins 2 is too much of a compliment. This is more like Paladins 0.5. And then we got somebody else, Lucas Silveria Silva, saying, hey, Hi-Rez, the guys are so hard-nosed wanting to release Paladin Strike, just changing the name of the game and the champions. And below that, you've got a response highlighting just how low effort even the name changes are from Terminus to Finalist. They couldn't even bother to make the names different enough. Just an incredibly sad attempt at stealing. Now, Glory Hero tried to play it off as if this was them taking inspiration from games, not directly copying. At the same time, our game art does learn from many game companies. If our skin design is 90% similar to yours, please point it out to us for confirmation. This is one of those things that doesn't need to be pointed out. There's no way this happened by accident, and in fact, there's proof that this is just intentional theft, intentional plagiarism, as pointed out by Hi-Rez CEO Stewart, who tweeted in response, LOL, says the mofo that literally stole every character from Paladin Strike so hard that your May 11th tweet has a character with a Paladin Strike logo on it. Indeed, if we zoom into the screenshot, we can see for ourselves that the beanie that this character is wearing does not say Glory Hero NFT Wars. It says Paladins Strike. Just friggin' Tweedledee and Twiddledum over here. Not only are they just ripping off Paladins, they're trying to take their assets and profit through the NFT landscape by implementing NFTs in their version of the ripped off game. Suffice to say that backlash was swift and copyright takedowns were issued immediately after Hi-Rez found out, and Glory Hero in response tried to be cheeky with this tweet. After 10 hours of discussions, the senior management of our various departments unanimously decided to keep the original name and use this style as our logo so that we can prevent us from being accused of plagiarism. Even at this stage, despite how blatant it is that they directly stole assets from Paladins and just changed a couple names, even after that screenshot was highlighted with the beanie that straight up says Paladins Strike, that is direct evidence confirming that they stole somebody else's work. They're claiming that they're being accused of plagiarism, not that they actually plagiarized. Even when presented with undeniable evidence, they're still denying it. It is just pathetic. In retort, Hi-Rez CEO Stewart responded by linking to this article whose headline reads, "The bigger the testicles, the smaller the brain." But you can see that Glory Hero developers know that they'll get into trouble as they've been going in damage control mode and essentially like deleting anything that indicates that they straight up copyright infringed, that they straight up stole from somebody else's work. For example, here we have a Twitter user pointing out how weird they closed their Reddit off to the public, likely suggesting that they were getting plenty of backlash. And beyond that, they did change their Twitter profile to have a profile image and a banner that is derived from that tweet that they cheekily posted about how they're being accused of plagiarism. So this is what they're using temporarily. This is the logo design. Before this incident, their Twitter page looked something like this, with the banner Glory Hero NFT Wars, whose logo again is just a blatant ripoff of Paladin Strike, and the heroes here pretty much are, for the most part, if not all of them, likely to be direct ripoffs from Paladin's assets. And the profile picture also showed the logo that was blatantly ripped off. And you can see just how many tweets were deleted, a number of videos as well as screenshots showing these heroes. All of that stuff's gone. If you check out Glory Hero NFT Wars Twitter right now, you can see that most of that stuff has pretty much been deleted, and there are barely any tweets now on their page. So the takedown has clearly proven to be successful, and here we have Thunderbrush, who is the art director for Paladins, tweeting, "Just want to say I'm very proud of the Paladins community today. Y'all rock." So you'd think by now that the Glory Hero NFT Wars developers would recognize that the jig's up and they would give up on this endeavor. But nope, this is what they tweeted on May 13th, 2022. Our project will continue to move forward, linking to this Medium blog post where they detail future plans. And you can see down here that Higher SEO Steward is just done with this, just completely frustrated at the tenacity. As for what's in the blog post, well, Glory Hero tries to put a positive spin on all of this and try to pretend like they're apologizing, though they ultimately apologize for nothing. And this is a segment worth reading right here. We are deeply sorry about this incident, but we can confirm that we did not use the art asset for commercialization or distribution on the blockchain network, but you did use these assets to promote your game, and you marketed your game as being unique, even though it was using assets directly taken from Paladins, and then you use those assets, somebody else's work, to promote your own endeavors for profit. And yet they insist that we value the intellectual copyright very much and have absolutely no intention or deliberate intention to use the unauthorized copyright for commercial purposes. Except that's exactly what you planned to do until you got called out, until you got caught. And even after you got caught, you pretended like you weren't plagiarizing, and you claimed you were being accused of plagiarism rather than downright admitting, yeah, we try to copy off of somebody else's work. We try to just straight up rip off somebody else's work. Now, this is funny right here. This is not a scam or even a fraud on any player's money. You're participating in NFTs. That is the definition of scam and fraud of players' money. And you can understand that this is a dramatic event. It's dramatically pathetic how blatantly you stole somebody else's work and how poorly you covered your tracks. But we are also very happy that the Paladin Strike community, which has been silent for a long time, has launched a denunciation because of this incident, which shows us a strong community consensus and is also in line with the spirit of Web 3.0? What are you trying to say here? This blog post is somehow trying to spin the backlash against them for stealing Paladins' assets as a happy occasion, and as if that somehow proved that there is strong support behind the idea of Web 3.0 and NFTs and Metaverse and all of these things. This sentence makes absolutely no sense. And then towards the end of the blog post, Glory Hero insists that the art assets used in our next online games are not Paladin Strike style and concept art. They are themed on sci-fi planet-based concepts. Yeah, curious to see which sci-fi game you'll steal that shit from. And then to close things off, here we have Glory Hero tweeting, "Good morning, guys," after the whole situation blew up in their faces as if everything is back to normal, but the community backlash is pretty severe. Ratio, to be honest, shut the F up before you get slapped the F up. You get the idea, and this is not the first incident that the NFT landscape has tried to steal others' gaming-related work. Recall that in a previous video I discussed this company that tried to take a bunch of retro classics and bundle them into a collection and sell them as NFTs. The games that they were selling belonged to other people, and they figured, oh, these are freeware and abandonware, games that have either been abandoned or that are already being given out for free, so that totally gives us the right to take them, pretend like they're ours, and profit off of them. Obviously, they have no right to do that. But this is a case of somebody trying to make an NFT game from assets that are clearly from this other game, Paladins, and then them trying to pretend like, oh no, what are you talking about? What plagiarism? All while employing some of the worst cover-up in plagiarism history. Let this serve as a reminder that this is the kind of landscape that NFTs is. It's rife with theft, crimes, schemes, and cons, and this is what the gaming industry wants to normalize, and they're well aware of what an awful Wild West landscape this is, but they don't care about protecting customers from this kind of crap. All they care about is exploiting whatever the next gold rush is, and NFTs just happen to be that. Though lately, NFTs and crypto and all of these things have been going in a downwards trend, have been collapsing, and while I don't know what the future holds, I don't know if that stuff will somehow come back, it's encouraging to see just how much backlash there is in this landscape and continued proof that this is one thing we definitely don't want to normalize, not in the way that they're currently being marketed. What the current intentions are behind them. It's all so cynically monetization based. It's absolutely disgusting and offer nothing of value. There are far too many cons and very little pros to really compensate for them. So yeah, I'm more than happy to continue to highlight what a shit show NFTs are. Or at the very least, that's one man's take on the latest developments surrounding NFTs and the latest case of NFT theft. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are on Glory Hero just straight up ripping off Paladins and facing the consequences of their actions. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.